Hi there, Karen Skazell here on behalf of Makers Mercantile. Today I have been asked by Kyle Cunneghy to do a little video about a tradition from my holidays or a wonderful memory of the past. And I have something that falls under both categories. And to make it extra special, I'm actually doing it with the newest person we'll be passing the tradition on to. And that here is little Hansi. And Hansi is my grandson. He's 6 months old today, and he is the son of my son. So let's get to it. My favorite thing about the holidays has been a tradition that has to do with food. And no, it's not a sweet, amazingly. It's actually a thing called Rouladen. And Rouladen is sort of like a meat stew, like a German meat stew. And but it's not really a stew because you don't have chunks of meat. You actually have rolls of beef that are cooked to perfection so that you can actually cut them with a fork when you serve them. So how do you make these? Well, I haven't made them yet this year, and so I do have some photos from years past, and my daughter Riley, some of you know her, will be joining me in some of the photos as to how to actually make this. Now, I do not have a handwritten recipe. We always do it just by, it's been transferred down by word of mouth from, grandma to mother to me to my daughter and eventually to little Hansi here. We'll be passing it on too. But I will give you a link at the end of the video of a recipe that I found online that looks very, very similar to how we make it. So first of all, you need a very, very thinly sliced cut of beef that's, like 8 or 10 inches long, 4 inches wide, and probably about a 1/4 inch thick. That's really hard to come by, so you're going to have to ask your butcher. We have always been very fortunate that we have a place in town called Hans's Deli. That's H-A-N-S, just like this little guy, H-A-N-S, very good German name. Hans's Deli, we've been getting our Rouladen meat from them, I think probably for the last 48 years. They cut it for us. Excuse me. So you can go to your butcher and ask for them to cut it for you, unless you're a butcher yourself, and then go for it. So once you have your meat very, very fine cut, and I'm going to show you a photo here, you can actually salt and pepper it. You want to lay all your meat out. At least we find it easiest to lay all our meat out at once. And if you want to know how many Rouladen to make per person, we usually do 2 and then a half per person. Because we really like this, and because we usually only eat it once a year, we really indulge in it. So you want to have it's going to depend on you, but lay them all out on a counter if you can, and then salt and pepper your meat. And once you've salt and peppered your meat, you're going to want to put a very fine layer of mustard on there. I like using stone ground mustard. I don't think it really matters what kind of mustard you use. Use whatever you like best. I wouldn't use a sweet mustard though. Once you've done that, you're going to put a fine layer of thinly chopped onions on there. So you can chop them very fine if you want. You can thinly slice them, totally up to you, but you just want a layer of onions. I usually use sweet onions because I just like sweet onions. And then on top of that, you're going to put chopped pickles. Now you can cut the work out if you want just by buying pickle relish, but it's not really as good. So I usually buy my pickles at the deli, and I think someone's gonna fall asleep on us. I buy the pickles at the deli. He's super tired. I buy the pickles at the deli and I chop them up, and then I put my fine layer of chopped pickles on there. And then comes the rolling part. So you're going to want to roll these, but you want to put something inside of them. Some people use bacon, and in our family it varies too. I like a sausage, so I usually get some sausages also from Hans's Deli. I slice them in half and I put in a pickle spear, and I roll it up so that ends up in the middle, and then you toothpick it together so that the roll holds. After that, you lightly dust it with flour, and you're going to put it in a frying pan, and you're going to fry it up till it's brown, and you're going to do this you can do it with just a regular oil that you have. You could do it with olive oil. I like to use ghee. Once it's all browned, you're going to transfer it into another pot, and you're going to use those drippings to make the gravy. The gravy, I will put in chopped onions and all different kinds of things. We of course make our gravy in general gluten-free, so we're going to use a rice flour to thicken it up a bit. He's had a little bit of a cold. I've had a little bit of a cold. Don't know if you can tell. Anyways, moving right along. You're gonna put it in a pan, or you're gonna put it in a, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, but a dish that can go in the oven. What's the matter? You're gonna put it in a dish that can go in the oven, and you're gonna put it in there with some of the gravy then for about 2 hours. Keep some of the gravy out though. And after 2 hours, it should be done. If you can use a fork to cut it in half, you are finished. Uh-oh. Oh dear, are we getting restless? Do we want our pinky again? I don't like to put it in your mouth, but yeah, we want to try to be good throughout the rest of the video. We only have a little bit to go, I promise, okay? And then the nice thing about this recipe, okay, so now we've taken it out of the oven. You could actually serve it now, and people usually serve it with either potatoes or spätzle, which is another German dish. You just want to serve it with something that is a little starchy, something like that. I think potatoes is probably the most common thing, or in southern Germany, they always use spätzle. But what I was saying was, the nice thing about this recipe, uh-oh, we dropped that. Let's try this. You want to try this? Look at this. What is that? Oh, yeah, that looks pretty. So is that you can freeze it. And you can freeze it for, I mean, well, actually, we've frozen it for longer than a month, but I usually make it at the beginning of December, or maybe it's just 2 or 3 days before Christmas. Depends when we have time, then we freeze it. And quite honestly, I think after it's been frozen, sometimes it actually tastes better than it did the day that we actually made it. Of course, you could make it the day of as well, but usually there's so much going on that, you know, we'd rather spend our time doing other things. Another thing that goes really well with it is using a German cabbage, red cabbage, that is cooked with a little bit of apple, which makes it a little bit sweet, and it's very, very delicious. Anyways, that is my family recipe, and I think we are probably at wit's end as far as sitting here in front of the camera. It's nice to see you all again. I wish you all a very, very happy holiday. Please stay healthy. I know there's a lot of crud going around. Lord knows I've got it, or had it. So yeah, please stay healthy, and have a really wonderful new year too. Ciao. Can you say ciao? Let's say ciao, ciao. All right, we're not getting smiles out of him today. He's ready for now. All right.